Vanakkam, good evening, and greetings to all of you. So, today I will be presenting my project Timeless 1330, and this is Thirukural, which is a second century BCE from the Tamil literature. Before I move on, a few things I would like to share with all of you. So, today I'm going to be presenting the Tamil couplets, Thirukural, from the second century BCE, composed by the renowned poet Thiruvalluvar, which is in the language Tamil. This is a dream project, and I'm very happy that I'm able to meet all of you here. And first, I would like to thank Queen's Council on the Arts and the New York City Department of Culture for awarding this and funding this project. This is the second phase of my project. The first phase was completed in the year 2016, which was also funded by the Queen's Council on the Arts and the Department of Cultural Affairs. Now, this project is basically setting to music the couplets, which is written in the South Indian language Tamil, a very ancient language. So, an ancient language, and the poems very ancient. We are talking about 2220 years ago that was written. And the music is based on Carnatic ragas, which the Carnatic music is again the very ancient South Indian classical music, which has been in practice, in existence, and being practiced continuously for almost 1,000 years since it was, we would say, the origin of it was in the Vedic era, which is 1,000 years old. So, setting music to these couplets has been my dream project. So, basically, these are poems, just two lines filled with timeless wisdoms. I'm talking about it as timeless because the wisdom, the principles that are set in Thirukural is applicable and very apt even to this day. And to give a brief idea about what Thirukural is, it's a Tamil poetical treatise which consists of the code of ethics for all of us as individuals and we as part of the society, as a part of community, how we should lead a truthful, good life, wherein the benefit of living a good life with good values, moral values, ethics is not just for us. The benefit is not just for us, but also we as human beings living in society, how we can serve as an ideal a human being and be compassionate to our fellow beings and how we take care of each other, help each other, and also there are code of ethics for the government. Basically, the government is for the people. So basically, for the government also, how it should rule the people, it should govern, not rule, it should govern and help people in terms of distress and also on normal times. So basically, it's code of ethics. So something like the Hammurabi Code, which we have in law. So this is similar to that, except and this is non-religious and very secular. it applies to every human beings irrespective of our faith, our religion. And the the one good thing about us, it's though it's written in Tamil, the South Indian language, it has been translated in more than 82 languages and very widely known. So even people who don't speak Tamil can at least have an idea of what these couplets are. Maybe they may not know the words, but the meaning has been written and it has been translated in so many different languages, so they can follow that. So, typically back in India, especially in Tamil Nadu, from where I come from, we start learning Thirukural from as early as our elementary grades, and we learn throughout our school years all the way to high school and also in college if we happen to have Tamil as our language, one of the subjects in college. So we learned this with meaning, but we would just learn it as poems. And so it was my dream, as I said earlier, that I would wanted to set it to music and give it a musical form. So our music has got so much of power, it's captivating. So the idea is we also would be able to sing it as songs. And Thirukural, we all of us, even people, if somebody doesn't read or learn in school, if they don't take Tamil as a language in class school, they would still be able to know about Thirukural because it will be there written in all the buses, public buses. It will be written in at the back of some of the auto rickshaws, and it's very widely quoted in public speech, in lectures, and in so many articles it is quoted because it gives so much of value. It adds value to our life. And today, in this project, I am going to present the couplets chosen from 5 chapters. So, in the phase one, which I did in 2016, I had tuned 5 chapters, and now this is the second phase where I have chosen another 5 chapters. The chapters I have chosen for this phase of the project was forgiveness, compassion, non-violence, courtesy, and wise friendship. Now, to begin with today's presentation, I would start with an invocation to God. Today, I would first like to thank my co-artists who are going to be vocalizing. So whatever, when we set to music, somebody has to give life to that. And so the life of this is going to be from my daughter, Samyukta ShivRaj Yakovlov. She is known as Sam Yakovlov. And Suchitra Sundararajan. So the vocalist, they are going to be singing what I have set to music. So I would first begin with an invocation, and this invocation is to the Lord. Usually, an invocation would be prayer to God and seeking his blessings and seeking his blessings for the success of whatever we do. So I would begin with the prayer to God, but the specific kural that I have chosen, the couplet that I have chosen, not only is just a prayer, but it also highlights the importance of having faith in life. So Thiruvalluvar says, one who has surrendered to God and was surrendered at the feet of the Lord shall have no anxieties or worries of mind. In the sense, so we can interpret as if we have surrendered and if we have full faith that there is a supreme power who will see through us in life, then we shall be free of worries because we have already unburdened ourselves and we are seeking the blessings of the Lord. Our faith will see through us, so we will not have any worries, which I think a lot of us have experienced, and we can definitely attest to those words. மனத்தவனை மாற்றல் அறிது தனக்குவமை அல் தனக்குவமை அல்லாதான் தாழ் சேர்ந்தார்க்கு அல்லார் மனக்கவலை மாற்றல் அரிது. So while I seek blessings, I would also now at this juncture would like to add a prayers for all the people of India, my native country, my family, my friends, and all of my countrymen back in India who are suffering from the raging pandemics. And I seek the blessings. I pray to the Lord to relieve them and keep them safe from this raging pandemic. And I request all of you to join me in these prayers. So, we will begin today's presentation with the chapter Compassion. So, which is called in Tamil, it is known as Aruludaimai. This is set in the ragam Saveri. So, Aruludaimai means, Arul means kind. Here we are going to talk about it as compassion. So, being compassionate to our fellow human beings, um, not just to our friends and family, but even to strangers. So, here Valluvar gives a few of the pointers. Not only does he talk about what is compassion, but he also tells us why it is important for us to be compassionate and why is it very essential for us to be compassionate. In the couplet, which is numbered at 241, Arutselvam Selvatul Selvam Porutselvam Puriya Kannum Ula. So he says, even a person who probably doesn't have great qualities, he has a lot of, um, we can say, I wouldn't say not an evil person, but not very compassionate, or probably doesn't have a great feeling towards others, and or rather has a lot of ill thoughts and does things that are not that are not very compassionate to others. He would have a lot of wealth. He would possess a lot of wealth, but the most valuable of all the wealth than the material wealth is kindness, being kind to others. So that is the meaning of this Kural.
அருட்செல்வம் செல்வத்துள் செல்வம் பொருட்செல்வம் அருட்செல்வம் செல்வத்துள் செல்வம் பொருட்செல்வம் பூரியர் கண்ணும் உள.
அருட்செல்வம் செல்வத்துள் அருட்செல்வம் செல்வத்துள் செல்வம் பொருட்செல்வம் அருட்செல்வம் செல்வத்துள் செல்வம் பொருட்செல்வம் பூரியார் கண்ணும் உள.
நெக்ஸ்ட் குறள். நல்லாற்றான் நாடி அருளாள்க பல்லாற்றான் தேரினும் அஃதே துணை. So the meaning is, no, the kindness is one quality that will aid all of us. And if whatever path we seek, there are so many spiritual paths and so many paths that all of us we seek for a good life. Whatever path we seek, whatever path we try to follow, one thing that will be definitely common and definitely that would be insisted, one value that all of us needs to have irrespective of whatever path we choose to follow would be kindness.
நல்லாற்றான் நாடி அருளாள்க நல்லாற்றான் நாடி அருளாள்க நல்லாற்றான் நாடி அருளாள்க நல்லாற்றான் நாடி அருளாள்க பல்லாற்றான் தேரினும் அஃதே துணை.
நல்லாற்றான் நாடி அருளாள்க நல்லாற்றான் நாடி அருளாள்க நல்லாற்றான் நாடி அருளாள்க நல்லாற்றான் நாடி அருளாள்க பல்லாற்றான் தேரினும் அஃதே துணை.
அருள் சேர்ந்த நெஞ்சினார் கிள்ளை இருள் சேர்ந்த இன்னா உலகம் புகழ். So for those who are filled with kindness, they will not have any problems or trials in life. That's the meaning of it. When we are kind, when we show compassion, when we show kindness to others, not only are we helping them and making them feel better and extending a hand of help, extending a helping hand to them, at the same time, when we are kind to somebody in turn, they would definitely be our well-wisher. So when we have the well-wishes of people, that will serve as a protection for us and will always safeguard us from all problems, and it will relieve us from the trials. That's what Thirukural says in this Kural.
அருள் சேர்ந்த நெஞ்சினாக்கு இல்லை இருள் சேர்ந்த இன்னா உலகம் புகழ்.
அருள் சேர்ந்த நெஞ்சினாக்கு இல்லை இருள் சேர்ந்த இன்னா உலகம் புகழ்.
மண்ணுயிர் ஓங்கி அருளாழ்வார் கில்லென்ப தன்னுயிர் அஞ்சும் வினை. So, we often talk about saints who are not just saints, any person who had renounced life. So, Thirukural here says, you know, for people who live with kindness and who considers kindness as an important virtue and who also considers it as a duty to protect others and all other living creatures, they will not have any worries about the sins in life. Generally, we often will worry about, oh, have I done something wrong? What am I doing? Is it right or wrong? So we do have these moral, ethical questions to all the time. So here he says somebody can live without all of those moral, ethical worries if they are kind to others, because that good quality will serve well in their life.
மன்னுயிரோம்பி அருளாழ்வார்க்கில்லென்ப தன்னுயிரஞ்சும் வினை.
மன்னுயிரோம்பி அருளாழ்வார்க்கில்லென்ப தன்னுயிரஞ்சும் வினை.
அல்லான் அருளாழ்வார் கிள்ளை வழி வழங்கும் மல்லான் மா ஞாலங்கரி. So, for people who are kind, they will not only have any troubles in this life, but they will also lead a good life. And Thiruvalluvar says that earth on which we live, and this earth on which even the mightiest wind blows, and even whatever is the strength of any of the natural elements on this earth, the earth stays. And so he says the earth is a witness to the fact that people who are filled with kindness will always have a good life.
அல்லாலருளாழ்வார்க்கெல்லை வழி வழங்கும் மல்லான்மா ஞாலங்கரி. அல்லாலருளாழ்வார்க்கெல்லை வழி வழங்கும் மல்லான்மா ஞாலங்கரி.
One of the when I was choosing the chapters, of course, Thirukural deals with almost every single values that we need to have in this life, and because we are talking about code of ethics, so it touches upon love, it touches upon education, what is education, and what sort of education is needed, and then kindness, hospitality, and so almost every aspect of our life is touched in Thirukural. And there are, I would say, the principles for almost every aspect of our life is there in Thirukural. It is like the one single most book we can all follow on, and for any questions that we have, the moral questions that we have, And am I doing the right thing? Is this what am I supposed to do? I think the answers for us, or for all of our questions, and for all the challenges that we face in life, are there in Thirukural. So when I chose the chapters, I kind of chose the chapters which I thought um, plays an important role on our day-to-day life and kind of guides us through our life. And so even though my aim and my goal, I would say my vision, is to set to music all of the 1330 couplets. I have chosen a few chapters as to begin where, where I would want it to do before I move on to so many of them. So choosing the chapters which I felt are something that would that's important and also guides us on our day-to-day life. So that's one reason I chose compassion. And the next chapter I have chosen here to present today is wise friendship. you know when we are kids, oftentimes we will be scolded for something our friend does, and we would have a fun time with friends, then come back and face the squad, the firing squad, our parents. And they would say, I know why you are behaving like this. Parents always, there is one saying in Tamil, kakaikum tan kunju pon kunju, which means even for crow, its baby is the most beautiful in this world. So for parents, even if we do some mistakes, the first thing they would say is, "No, it's not you. The mistake, that whatever you are doing, it's not you. You're actually good, but it's your friendship with that guy." So instead of us, the other guy who's not even the other person, our friend who's not even there, will get unnecessary scoldings from our parents. So that we would have done something wrong on our own, but it would always first be attributed to our friends. So I think this is Thiruvalluvar's way of telling us whose friendship we should have, not just as kids, even as an adult and in our day to day life. He's talking about wise friendship. So you can have friendship, but it's important to choose people who can guide you in the life with a lot of wisdom. So அறனறிந்து மூத்த அறிவுடையார் கேண்மை திறனறிந்து தேர்ந்து கொளல். He says, choose the friendship of mature people and who are very knowledgeable of what is important in life, so that they can guide you and you can benefit from that kind of a wise friendship. அறனறிந்து மூத்த அறிவுடையார் கேண்மை திறனறிந்து தேர்ந்து ஆள.
அரணறிந்து மூத்த அறிவுடையார் கேண்மை திறனறிந்து தேர்ந்து கோடல்.
அறனறிந்து மூத்த அறிவுடையார் கேண்மை திறனறிந்து தேர்ந்து கோள.
உறாமை முற்காக்கும் பெற்றியார் பேணி கொளல். So, when we seek the friendship of people with wisdom, so what happens is they are not only capable of resolving the problems. Wise people, they are capable of resolving the problems of ours, advising them, but they will also be able to give us a knowledge of how to avoid these problems. So, not only not getting caught, but also not facing that problem to begin with. உற்றநோய் நீக்கி உறாமை மூக்காக்கும் பேற்றியார் பேணி கொணல் பேணி கொணல்.
போற்ற நோய் நீக்கி உறாமை மூர்காக்கும் பேற்றியார் பேணி கொள பேணி கொள.
ஊற்றநோய் நீக்கி உறாமை மூக்காக்கும் பேற்றியார் பேணி கொளல் பேணி கொளல்.
Seeking the friendship of wise people, this is like, all those vitamin supplements that we take. So before we fall sick, we kind of build good resistance to our life. And so that's, I think, the analogy we can think of. அரியவற்றுள் எல்லாம் அரிதே பெரியாரை பேணி தமரா கொளல். So appreciating the wisdom of people and seeking their friendship, Thiruvalluvar says, is the most precious thing in life. அரியவற்றுள்ளெல்லாம் அரிதே பெரியாரை பேணி தமரார் கொளல்.
அரியவற்றுள்ளெல்லாம் அரிதே பெரியாரை பேணி தமரார் கோணல்.
அரியவற்றுள் எல்லாம் அரிதே பெரியாரை பேணி தமரா கோளல்.
தம்மிற் பெரியார் தமரா ஒழுகுதல் வன்மையுள் எல்லாம் தலை. So, it says, by seeking the friendship of people who are very knowledgeable, and when we follow the advice, so just having their friendship alone is not enough. He also says that you have to take into consideration the advice, the wise advice of those people whom you have sought as your friend. So when you seek their advice and also follow their advice, then that adds strength to one's character. So it adds strength. When it adds strength to our character, it also gives us certain amount of confidence and power. தம்மை பெரியார் தமரா ஒழுகுத வன்மையுள்ளெல்லாம் தலை தலை
தம்மிற் பெரியார் தமரா ஒழுகுதல் வன்மையுள்ளெல்லாம் தலை தலை
தம்மி பெரியார் தமர ஒழுகுதல் வன்மையுள் எல்லாம் தலை தலை
சூழ்வார் கண்ணாக ஒழுகலாம் மன்னவன் சூழ்வாரை சூழ்ந்து கொள்ளல். So, while seeking the friendship of wise people, for individuals, as it's important, even for a king or a person who is a leader, who is governing, it's important for him to be surrounded by wise people so that he could take the advice of the wise people in all the matters that is relating to governing. And also, the wise people will be able to kind of examine the character and qualification of the people whom he is seeking to appoint as council and whom he would have as in his advisory council. So it is important for him to have the wise friendship of people who will be able to guide. So just as I said earlier, Thirukural has these ethics and code not just as individuals, even for leaders. கண்ணாக ஒழுகலான் மன்னவன் சூழ்வாரி சூழ்ந்து கோணல்
சூழ்வார் கண்ணாக ஒழுகலான் மன்னவன் சூழ்வாரை சூழ்ந்து கோணல்
சூழ்வார் கண்ணாக ஒழுகலான் மன்னவன் சூழ்வாரை சூழ்ந்து கோள.
We then move on to the next chapter that we would present is non-violence. The chapter title specifically states as non-killing, which means do not kill others, do not kill any living creature. So I chose to give the title as non-violence, so not being violent. So, but it is very specific. Kollamai. Kollamai means not killing. Aravinai yadenin kollamai oral piravinai ellam tarum. The meaning is, not killing any living thing is the righteous way to live. So that the idea is that by killing, it could lead to all kinds of troubles. When somebody gets caught, not only just get caught, the guilt of it will ruin their life. It will ruin the life of so many people. That's the reason he says it will lead to all kinds of troubles.
அரவினையாதேனின் கொல்லாமை கோரல் பிறவினை எல்லாந்தரும்
அறவினையாதெனின் கொல்லாமை கோரல் பிறவினை எல்லாம் தரும்.
பகுத்துண்டு பல்லுயிர் ஓம்புதல் நூலோர் தொகுத்தவற்றுள் எல்லாம் தலை. So, by sharing what we have with others and also by protecting other living things, we kind of elevate ourselves, and Thiruvalluvar says it is one of the best virtue to have in life, and that is listed as the most important virtue by scholars and learned people.
பகத்தொண்டு பல்லுயிர் ஓம்புதல் நூலார் தொகுத்தவற்றுள்ளெல்லாம் தனை.
பகுத்துண்டு பல்லுயிர் ஓம்புதல் நூலூர் தொகுத்தவற்றுள் எல்லாம் தலை.
ஒன்றாக நல்லது கொல்லாமை மற்றதன் பின்சார பொய்யாமை நன்று. So Thiruvalluvar says that not killing another life is one of the most important virtue, and the next most important virtue is not lying. So I think what he would like to say, he is probably insisting is not only should we not kill, but we should not also lie about anything and lie about our mistakes also.
ஒன்றாக நல்லது கொல்லாமை மற்றதன் பின்சார பொய்யாமை நன்று.
ஒன்றாக நல்லது கொல்லாமை மற்றதன் பின்சார பொய்யாமை நன்று.
நல்லார் எனப்படுவது யாதெனின் யாதொன்றும் கொல்லாமை சூழும் நெறி. So, the righteous way of life is following the path of not killing any living being. Here, he is not only saying not killing any human beings, but he also says not killing any living creature.
நல்லாறு எனப்படுவது யாதேனின் யாதொன்றும் கொல்லாமை சூழும் நேரி.
நல்லார் எனப்படுவது யாதெனின் யாதொன்றும் கொல்லாமை சூழும் நேரி.
நிலை அஞ்சி நீத்தாருள் எல்லாம் கொலையஞ்சி கொல்லாமை சூழ்வான் தலை. So, it is much better for somebody to live in a righteous way without having any guilt of harming, killing another life than a person who had renounced all his life or renounced everything in life, fearing the sins of life. Just because somebody wants to be free from the worries of committing a crime, so renouncing everything is definitely not the best way to live, but should live doing everything in life, but not harming others, not killing others. So that Thiruvalluvar says is the most important virtue and much better than renouncing life.
நிலையஞ்சி நீத்தாருள் எல்லாம் கொலையஞ்சி கொல்லாமை சூழ்வாதலை
நிலையந்தி நீத்தாருள் எல்லாம் கொலையஞ்சி கொல்லாமை சூழ்வான் தலை.
The next chapter we are going to present is Porayudaipai, forgiveness, forgiving others. Generally when somebody insults us or when they do something to hurt us, our first reaction would be to retaliate. Or, sometimes we may not retaliate, but we might feel hurt and we might be disappointed. We would keep that in mind all the time. But the value of forgiving, now we often say to err is human, to forgive is God. So to be forgiving to others is one of the virtue that Thiruvalluvar says it's important for us to possess and also practice. அகழ்வாரை தாங்கும் நிலம் போல தம்மை இகழ்வாரை பொறுத்தல் தலை. Now this earth bears our weight, it holds our weight, and it also bears everything that we do for this earth. We stamp on her, we step on her, and with so many of us in this world, we have created a lot of weight for the earth on whom we and for the sake of the lifestyle that we live, for our comforts, we sometimes even take undue advantage of all the bountiful treasures that the earth has given us. We take advantage of it and we have abused the earth, and we do abuse. But the earth still bears all of our, we could say, all of our burden and stays and still supports us. So Thiruvalluvar says, just like the way this earth bears all of us, it's also a good thing for us to be very patient and forgive people who have insulted us. Now he says that the earth, even when we dig it, it still bears us. That's exactly how we should be forgiving to others.
தாங்கும் நிலம் போல தம்மை இகழ்வாரை பொறுத்தல் தலை.
அகழ்வாரை தாங்கும் நிலம் போல தம்மை இகழ்வாரை பொறுத்தல் தலை.
பொறுத்தல் இறப்பினை என்றும் அதனை மறத்தல் அதனினும் நன்று. When somebody insults us, it's a good thing for us to forget the insults without feeling disappointed or a feeling of disapproval of others who are insulting them. But Thirukural says what is much better is also bearing it without any retaliation. So, not even thinking of retaliating and bearing it with a lot of patience.
பொறுத்தல் இறப்பினை என்றும் அதனை மறத்தல் அதனினும் நன்று.
பொறுத்தல் இறப்பினை என்றும் அதனை மறத்தல் அதனினும் நன்று.
இன்மையுள் இன்மை விருந்தோரால் வன்மையுள் வன்மை மடவார் பொறை. So when we have guests and if we are not able to be hospitable to the guests, then Thirukural says that is the poorest of being poor. So somebody they might have all the wealth, they might possess everything in life, but they may not feel like being hospitable to guests. So that Thirukural says, even if you have wealth, it is as good as being poor. And he says, while that is the very a quality that a despicable quality of not being hospitable to your guests, on the other side, what is the most mightiest thing you could have is that being tolerant even to people who are ignorant. Sometimes we may not have the patience to talk to or deal with people who show a sign of ignorance. They may not know about many things. But being tolerant to such ignorant people, Thirukural says, is the mightiest quality that we could have.
இன்மையுள் இன்மை விருந்தோரால் வன்மையுள் வன்மை மடவார் பொறை மடவார் பொறை.
இன்மையுள் இன்மை இருந்தோரால் வன்மையுள் வன்மை மடவார் பொறை மடவார் பொறை.
நிறையுடைமை நீங்காமை வேண்டின் பொறையுடைமை போற்றி ஒழுகப்படும். So Thirukural says it's important for us to practice and exercise patience, and when we exercise patience we would be praised as a great person, not now but always. For ages to come, a person who is exercising patience will be praised always.
நிறையுடைமை நீங்காமை வேண்டின் பொறையுடைமை போற்றே ஒழுகப்படும்.
நிறையுடைமை நீங்காமை வேண்டின் பொறையுடைமை போற்றே ஒழுகப்படும்.
ஒருத்தாரை ஒன்றாக வையாரை வைப்பர் பொறுத்தாரை பொன்போர் பொதிந்து. So, Thirukural says, the world will despise people as worthless who would punish others without any patience, without forbearance. So they will not have the patience, they will punish somebody for all the mistakes they commit or the wrongs they do. So the world will not actually like those people. But the world will preserve and consider them as very precious and preserve in their heart as gold of those people who show a lot of tolerance to others.
பொறுத்தாரை ஒன்றாக வையாரே வைப்பர் பொறுத்தாரை பொன்போர் பொதிந்து.
ஒரு தாரை ஒன்றாக வையாரே வைப்பர் பொறு தாரை பொன்போர் பொதிந்து.
The next chapter that we are presenting today is courtesy, being civil, being courteous to others. எண்பதத்தால் எய்தல் எளிதென்ப யார் மாட்டும் பண்புடைமை என்னும் வழக்கு. So, in Tamil, courtesy is known as பண்புடைமை, having a very nice quality, பண்பு. So, to mingle freely with people, we talked about wise friendship. Here he says, we should mingle with people with a lot of humbleness. So just being with people, having a company and meeting people and trying to be friendly to show off our superiority, the wealth or the intelligence and knowledge, without all of those, being very humble and being friendly with others, Thirukural says, is a very noble quality to possess. So when we are humble, we are being courteous to others. We are ready to listen to them, to participate and imbibe the good quality in them. So the idea is, we learn from everybody. There is no person as superior or inferior. So we treat others as equal and also with a lot of humbleness.
எண்பதால் எளிதன்ப யார் மாட்டும் பண்புடைமை பண்புடைமை எனும் பழக்கு
என்பதத்தால் எய்தல் எளிதென்ப மாட்டும் பண்புடைமை எனும் பழக்கு. அன்புடைமை ஆன்ற குடிப்பிறத்தல் இவ்விரண்டும் பண்புடைமை எனும் வழக்கு. Now, being very affectionate and tolerant is one of the two of the noble qualities in life to possess. So Thirukural says how he is telling how we would get this quality of tolerance and patience and also being affectionate and humble to everybody is that when you are born in a family that practices and shows affection and tolerance, then that quality would be imbibed in us. So basically, he says we learn this from our family, which means each one of us in the family should set an example to the others, to also the youngsters in the family, to imbibe such noble qualities.
அன்புடைமை ஆன்ற பிறத்தல் இவ்விரண்டும் பண்புடைமை எனும் வழக்கு.
அன்புடைமை ஆன்ற பிறத்தல் இவ்விரண்டும் பண்புடைமை எனும் வழக்கு. அறம் போலும் கூர்மையாரேனும் மரம் போல்வர் மக்கட்பண்பில்லாதவர். பண்புடையார் பட்டுண்டு உலகம் அதுவின்றே மண்புக்கு மாய்வது முன். So he says, the way of life that is followed by everybody in the world should be based on the noble ways and qualities of good people and follow the noble qualities that is being set as a path for us. If that doesn't happen, and if the world chooses to follow a different path, giving without all of these qualities, what would happen is humanity will not exist and we as a society, we will perish.
பண்புடையார் பட்டுண்டு உலகம் அதுவென்றேல் மண்பூக்கு மாய்வது முன்.
பண்புடையார் பட்டுண்டு உலகம் அதுவென்றே மண்போக்கு மாய்வது முன். அறம் போலும் கூர்மையாரேனும் மரம் போல்வர் மக்கட்பண்பில்லாதவர். So, if we come across people who lack humanness, who do not have the qualities which they would like to show, the quality of kindness, compassion, and tolerance and patience to other human beings, and if they lack that human quality in them, then they are as good as being a tree, even if they are very intelligent. So is it bad to be like it? What is bad about tree? No, this is not about being bad. It is just that a tree is considered as a living thing which has only one, what we call as arivu, or one knowledge of just, it does not have all of its six senses like human beings. Human beings are considered to have all six senses, whereas tree is considered to have only one sense. So Thirukural says those kind of people would be considered as having just one sense if they do not have that human quality in them.
அறம் போலும் கூர்மையாரேடும் மரம் போல்வர் மக்கட்பண்பில்லாதவர்.
அறம் போலும் கூர்மையாரேனும் மரம் போல்வர் மக்கள் பண்பில்லாதவர். பண்பிலான் பெற்ற பெருஞ்செல்வம் நன்பால் கலந்தீமையால் திரிந்தற்று. So it would be considered as shameful if we do not have a sense of patience with people. So here Thirukural is saying not just patient with everybody, specifically being patient to people who do evil things and they do not deserve our patience. But if we are showing a lot of patience even to those people, that could be considered as a very noble thing to do. That is considered as being humane.
பண்பிலான் பெற்ற பெருஞ்செல்வம் நண்பால் கலந்தீமையால் தீரிந்தற்று.
பண்பில்லான் பெற்ற பெருஞ்செல்வம் நண்பால் கலந்தீமையால் தீரிந்தற்று. I would like to first thank the Queen's Council on Arts and the Department of Cultural Affairs for making this possible, for making it possible for me to set to music the chapters in Thirukural and also to present this. Originally, it was I had planned to present this as a public concert in libraries, and that was supposed to be the presentation. But in the existing circumstances where we are unable to meet and we will not, it would not be possible for us to do live events. So I had chosen to present this virtually, and this would stay on YouTube and Facebook. So for people who were not able to join us, they would be able to watch this. So thanks to all the support that I received from the Queen's Council on the Arts and from musicians who helped me, gave me the idea, my family, and Samyukta, Sam, and Suchitra, the vocalist, for giving a shape to the music that I had or planned and that I had vision and set it to. Thank you very much. I should thank them specifically for taking the time to learn and also to taking the time to practice and presenting it with me here. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Suchitra.
Thank you.
It's nice
Thank
having and
you.
sharing this online platform with you. And thank you all. Thank you, viewers. And I hope to see you all soon. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.